What's up, y'all? It's your boy Smacks, and we at it once again. Your boy with the K's No More podcast. You just tuned in. Now check this out. We got to give a shout out to our sponsors before we start this episode. Our sponsor, our great sponsor of the Renaissance Ranch in Bluffdale, Utah. It's a men's and women's treatment center. So if you or anybody you know is suffering from addiction or even incarceration and trying to make a transition into a better life, make sure y'all reach out and tap in with www.renaissanceranch.net. So today's a very special day. I got a great guest, and the guest I have on today is Nicole Vowell. Nicole, how you doing? A lot of people may not know who Nicole Vowell is, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the men who have been incarcerated, a lot of women who have been incarcerated, because we watch the news a lot.
Oh, gosh.
In prison. So I'm sure the whole community of incarcerated individuals know who Nicole Vowell is at one point. How you doing, Nicole?
I'm doing good, Smacks. Ricky Smacks.
Ricky Smacks.
Okay.
However, like I said, this is your energy. We feeling you. You know what I mean?
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about how we met.
Yeah,
first of all.
absolutely. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. So we met
in the prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I loved your energy. First
Thank
of
you
all.
so much.
And I loved your story.
Thank you.
And I'm a career storyteller.
Let's go.
So when I heard your story, how you were incarcerated and how you just really changed your life, you're kind of like the poster child of success for the incarcerated.
Absolutely.
And I think the power of storytelling and how people see themselves and can see themselves and have that inspiration is so important and needs to be shared. So
I love that.
I loved your energy. I loved your story. I love your passion, your drive to
Thank you
help
so
other
much.
people.
That means a lot,
succeed.
for sure.
So that's why I wanted to be on this podcast.
I love that.
I love Ricky's energy.
And I know you have a story too.
I do.
And I know not many people have probably ever heard your story.
No.
You know, and you gave me a little bit of information that kind of had me intrigued, right? Because like I said, I remember, we would watch news in the morning, and I would never have thought that your story was anywhere near how you told me. So let's get into it. Let's hear Nicole Vowell. And who is Nicole Vowell? And how did you become the person that you became today?
It makes me feel a little scratchy because in full transparency, I was like always the one that was asking the question.
Yeah.
So now,
I bet.
And sharing my
Professional.
story is like, I've been a storyteller my whole life, but one story that I haven't really told, as you mentioned, is my own. And it's empowering. I'm at a chapter in my life where I'm very, I don't have any shame. I don't carry any shame about my story. And so, so how I got to, the story that you heard, we'll start there. My dad.
Young Nicole.
Yeah. Probably the age of between the ages of up until I was 9 years old.
Okay.
So my father passed when I was 9 years old, John Graham Vowell.
Oh, man, sorry to hear that. Yeah.
And he was incarcerated when he met my mother.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think you had mentioned that as well.
And so...
and when you say they had met while incarcerated, how did they meet?
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
It's an interesting story because, when you hear your friends talk about how your parents met and all that, it's usually pretty nice.
Absolutely. Sunflowers, hearts
Or
and
they
roses.
met, somewhere, and it's like a really cool story.
Yeah.
Well, I never told, when people would sometimes ask that, I never really told the true story.
Yeah.
Because I was ashamed.
Young, actually, and embarrassed probably.
So my mom met my dad when he was incarcerated. My mom owned a bar.
Okay.
I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, and she owned a bar. And one of her friends, when she was young and beautiful, and she still is.
Shout out to Mama.
Shout out to Mom. She had a friend at work that was like, hey, I got a guy for you. And caveat, he's in jail.
Oh, okay.
And so my mom's like, sign me up.
Yeah.
My mom likes a little risk, I guess.
Absolutely.
And so she met my father behind glass.
Okay.
And then, I was born a year later. So
that's interesting. Did you hear of any like stories of mom through the visiting? Was it all by phone or was there ever visiting?
I never really.
Was there any talk? Does mom ever talk about it?
She doesn't really talk about it that much.
Yeah.
And I was so young. Like the stories that I've heard when I was growing up were just very. She didn't really talk about it too much.
Yeah.
But they did. So my dad, I did a little research on my own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
As you got older.
as I got older,
Yeah.
I really took a deep dive. And my dad's story is very interesting. He was illegally adopted.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
In Memphis, Tennessee. And so he had kind of like a really traumatic like upbringing.
Okay.
But he ended up incarcerated for white collar crimes.
Okay.
So some credit card fraud.
Yep, some fraud.
And but my memories of my father are, I didn't really know the incarcerated version of my dad. I just knew the version that I had the privilege of knowing up until I was 9 until he passed.
Yeah.
And so he was a good father. He was an artist. He, I think he may have taken that. I don't know. And I wish I could have these conversations.
Yeah, I bet, man.
But he took his situation with being incarcerated and he never went back. And so
good for dad.
I'd like to believe that changed him. Being in that situation, I'd like to think that changed him. He was a musician. He played guitar.
Oh, okay. He was an artist.
Oil on canvas artist.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
He loved music. He loved art. And so I just remember growing up, he had his paint room and me and my brother would go in there and we'd touch the painting and he'd get mad at us. And he rode motorcycles, and he did, from my mom's stories to me, did struggle with some alcohol addiction.
Okay.
But I don't really remember that.
Yeah, of course.
So that, just knowing that, I kind of saw the good side of my father, but knowing that he had a past with a series of incarceration, from what I understand, and knowing that I got to see the good side of him.
Yeah.
I take that now as somebody who is grown and gets to reflect on these type of things as, success.
Yeah.
He maybe his kids changed him. I don't know, but
absolutely.
But I'd like to think that, incarceration and having experienced that, you can have a different life on the other side.
Absolutely.
If you choose to.
For sure.
And so, but that's not the only, experience with incarceration. I had my mom, after my dad passed, my mom remarried.
Okay.
About 2 years later. And he's my youngest brother's father. So
okay.
I have 3 brothers.
Yeah.
He was shortly after my little brother was born. Ricardo is my brother's name. He was incarcerated for very violent crimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he ended up being deported to Mexico, and never saw my family or my brother again. But my experiences with that are, we would go on Saturdays on visiting days and see him.
Oh, okay.
So
you've had experience with the whole visiting in jail or prison.
Yeah.
Which is not always the great experience. My kids always visited me too. My wife would bring my kids every weekend, and I always worried for them every time they would come into prison, because they have to go through the whole searching, the possibly being sent back and denied visit for whatever the situation was. So I can only imagine how it must have felt. And I would think a kid that at your age doesn't know exactly what's going on, but you're just happy to see maybe your father. Is that kind of what was going?
It was my stepdad.
Yeah, your stepdad.
I didn't go often. I think my mom took my little brother more often, but we would drive by the jail, and he would put a paper in the window and try to communicate. So our Saturdays were let's go drive by the jail.
By the prison,
and I'm that's my memories as a child. So
wow.
When we talk about people who are involved with the justice system, it's not just people that are actually involved with the justice system. It's people. It's the families.
It's a trickle effect for sure
with the justice system. Now I can get into the whole, families of people who struggle with addiction. My mom had addiction issues.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I ended up being taken away from my mother.
Okay.
At the age of 13.
Age? Wow.
Yeah.
And it was due to her addiction?
It was due to her addiction and her marriage to my brother's dad.
Oh, okay.
It was a violent situation.
Oh, I bet.
Violence.
Yeah.
I kind of grew up in a very chaotic violent home and struggled with physical abuse as a child, emotional abuse as a child. And so my family stepped in, my extended family stepped in, and they said, you know, to my mom, like, you got to get right. And until you get right, we're taking your kids.
Absolutely.
Now, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's
for
a
sure.
lot for someone who is, you know, 13 years old.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
I didn't live in the same state as my mom.
Yeah.
So my mom was in Lexington, Kentucky. We ended up moving to the Detroit metro area, Michigan, where my extended family was. And I was raised by my mom's youngest sister, my aunt, and for about 3 years. And I barely talked to my mom during that time. I mean, talk about abandonment issues.
Yeah.
Like, we've been working on those.
Yeah, absolutely.
We work on
I
those.
love that.
Lots of therapy.
Yeah.
But all this to say, addiction doesn't just impact the person who is struggling with
No.
it. It impacts everyone around. And so
Absolutely.
the fallout of that experience was my lifetime.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
me telling myself a story that my mom chose drugs over me.
Yeah.
You know, my mom chose her husband over me.
Yeah.
Or grappling with that storyline in my mind for so long. So that's just one part of my story, family story.
No, for sure.
In terms of addiction, now I've had past partners that have struggled with addiction, heroin addiction. I think that's a result of my childhood.
Absolutely.
You're kind of just used to that environment. It's taken me a lot of therapy, a lot of years to kind of break out of those cycles. It's taken God.
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost.
Like God has.
Shout out to the man upstairs for sure. I mean, our higher power.
And I'm not LDS. I actually don't belong to any specific religion. I'm non-denominational, but I love Jesus.
Absolutely. and that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I'm not a religious person, but I'm for sure spiritual.
Yeah.
You know, and listening to your story, like just as you're talking right now, it's such, man, it's kind of like tugging at my heart a little bit, right? Because, you know, like you were a young child dealing with a father and just forms of men in your life that struggle with addiction and incarceration. And I was the one that was putting my kids through it. And it's such a hard thing even just hearing it when I hear you talking, I'm like thinking about my kids. I'm just like, man, you know, I can only imagine, even though I was doing that time, but I'm just thinking, dang, like how has my incarceration and addiction actually affected my kids in a way they don't tell me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So your story for sure is so strong, man.
Sometimes it comes out later in life. I feel like sometimes you put on a face of strength.
Yeah.
Like you said, no one really knows this story. They see the successful person that I have worked my butt off to be today. But they don't really know what got me here. And I really think a lot of people who are successful have come from a lot of struggle.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and that is a testament to the people who are incarcerated. Just because you struggle, a success story is a success story,
Love it.
Just because you struggle doesn't mean you have to keep struggling.
Absolutely.
You know, you can choose a different path. You can choose a path. And I looked at my life and I said, I don't want that.
Yep.
I don't want the path of addiction and chaos and violence and abuse.
Yep.
I want a different life. And that comes with a lot of sacrifices. You know, because you can take the road well-traveled or you can take the road less traveled.
Absolutely.
And so I wanted to choose a different path. And I'm proud of where I am today. It's taken a long time.
Yeah, I bet.
Whew.
Did you, so your aunt raised you, but when did you come to Utah? And were you in Utah in your younger years at all?
No.
Okay. So what as a teenager, what high school did you like go to?
I went to high school in Livonia, Michigan.
Okay.
It's right outside Detroit. I went to college. I ended up going to get my undergrad at Wayne State in the city of Detroit.
Oh, nice.
So I grew up. So I spent the first 13 years of my life before I was taken from my mom in Lexington, Kentucky, and then moved to Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Spent a few years there, and then my mom. We ended up going back. we ended up going back with my mom after she had, after her husband was incarcerated and deported.
Okay.
And after she started to get better, like with the drugs, we went back, and then we decided we like Michigan more than Kentucky.
Okay.
So we all moved to Michigan. So I spent about 14 years in Detroit.
Oh, yeah. So you was out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I went to school in the city. It's not a scary place. It's actually, I love Detroit.
Yeah. The way they make it seem, though, it's like cutthroat. I'm sure it can be cutthroat city out there.
It can be. It's a different culture.
Yeah.
People are raw, real. Like,
absolutely.
There's no like facade. It's just very like a
in your face. Like what you see is what you get.
Yeah. There's no sugarcoating thing there. So that's kind of where I get my realness from, I think.
Absolutely. I can see that.
I moved, so finished school. You know, I've always kind of had a tough relationship with my mom, but I love her.
Yeah.
She is who she is. I cannot change her, and that's taken me a long time to learn. Right.
Yeah.
But I ended up moving to Texas after I got my first job in TV news.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I moved to Texas, worked there for a couple years in Tyler, Texas, and then ended up getting a job in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And it was around.
You took the job from Texas.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So I went from Michigan or Kentucky to Michigan to Texas, Utah. And so I got the job in Utah 2014, working at KSL News. And then, that's how I ended up here. Yeah. And, I've been here. Never thought I would live here. Yeah. Never thought I would live here. No one's like Utah. Like,
yeah. You know? I remember when, so I came out here, I was incarcerated in the South.
Okay.
Yeah. And my mom was like, hey, I was about to get out, right? So I'm like still living that life. I was going to go on a run, which I did. And my mom was like, hey, I live in Utah now. You can move out to, and my first question was like, what's a Utah? My question was, what's a Utah? I didn't even know Utah was a state at that time, but yeah, dude. So you end up out here. So I know you were talking about how, you know, the effects that may have had on you to make you the person that you are today, as far as like addiction and incarceration. Have you ever experienced personally addiction? Because addiction, like we have mentioned before, addiction comes in many different forms, and it's important for, you know, listeners to know, because, you know, a lot of people don't even realize that they're suffering from some type of addiction because it's not drugs, it's not but some people buy too much clothes. I buy too much shoes sometimes, but
no, I get you. I would say, and this is a very interesting addiction. Yeah, I would say that I was addicted to chaos.
Oh. That's a thing.
Yeah, it is. I didn't really know it was a thing, because when you live in chaos your whole life and you're just so used to it, you don't even realize you're seeking it out. Yeah. And so it's taken a lot of therapy, all forms of therapy. Yeah. Some real people in your life that'll tell you, you know what, Nicole, this is what's going on. And that in those moments of self-reflection, to realize, dang, chaos is an addiction. Absolutely. Now that's one I would say, and that actually fueled my TV news career. Yeah. Because you're chasing the biggest, story all the time. Oh, okay. It's always chaotic. The business itself is chaotic. You're always kind of like in this fight or flight mode of like, what's going to happen? There's this constant sense of urgency. Yeah. So after I left the business in 2019, I realized, like, in 2020, everyone really got some time to self-reflect.
Absolutely. I know I did. After sitting down for 7 years and coming back, I have to sit down again.
I know, my gosh. Know what I mean? That's a lot of sitting down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time in silence with yourself, which I firmly believe is very critical to personal growth.
For sure.
Like, if you don't give yourself the opportunity to slow your mind down and get clear, then you're not going to go anywhere. No. You have to. Absolutely. You have to be able to listen to that voice, that inner voice, right? God's voice, I would say. And so, where was I going with this?
Dude, we're now, no, but don't even trip, because now I'm like, dude, the inner voice and slowing down. That's where I'm at now.
Oh, addiction, chaos.
Addiction.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Chaos. So I was addicted to like everything. Like I didn't even realize my energy was calling that energy into me.
Man, that's deep.
And so I was always kind of chaotic. And I would wonder why there's always chaos around me. But then it wasn't until I really like stepped away from the news business, really started to reflect on my life and everything around me and why, relationships didn't work out. We were like everything was just kind of always crazy and falling apart. And a lot of therapy and a lot of slowing down. Yeah. I realized like now the pendulum has swung to the other side. Now I'm like, if that's crazy, I don't want no part of it.
Absolutely.
I don't want a part of it. I want peace. My peace is like the most important thing to me. Even at work, I work in corrections, obviously. And so there's lots of things that can happen that are sometimes chaotic and I work in communication. So I have to communicate those, or I get to communicate those. I love my job. I get to communicate those things out to make, people aware and safe and all that.
Absolutely.
But I don't seek out those moments anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's such a crazy contrast, because going from journalist, right, that was your occupation, to search out the chaos, to find the chaotic moments out there and talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize that I was chasing chaos most of my life until I realized it. And there's still moments where you're like, but
yeah, I know.
My chaos, I would say my chaos now is like having fun with like family. Yeah. Like creating those chaotic memories, not chaotic, but like that's a bad word.
No.
But like those memories that's what I'm seeking now. Yeah. I like happiness. It feels different. Chaos used to be happy.
Yeah.
Because that was my baseline.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my baseline. Now, while it's still inside me sometimes.
Yeah. I don't think it can ever go away. Sometimes just a little bit. You know what I mean?
It's definitely like
a little bit of chaos don't hurt nobody.
But in all the right ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think I don't seek it anymore. I really try to maintain my regulation, nervous system regulation, calm, peace, even in the chaotic moments. And that to me is strength and growth. Yeah. Like to think about where I came from, and this is just a fraction of my story. Yeah. To think about all the chaos that I came from, and now I'm like, chaos, I'm good. Yeah. Like that's growth, and that is success to me.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so so I would say people who don't realize chaos is an addiction, it can be.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm talking about highs and lows in relationships, even like that's chaos.
Yeah, it looks.
And I sought those
many
out.
different ways. Yeah.
And it wasn't until like I've had some really great partners that I shouldn't say partners, a really great partner.
Yeah, no.
That
I get it.
Kind of pointed out these things to me, and it takes someone to hold that mirror up to you.
Absolutely.
And be like, Nicole, this might be what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you're like, dang, okay. And it all just kind of makes sense. And then but you have to have those moments of clarity and want to have those moments of clarity.
Yeah.
Some people are just so used to the life that they've always had.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the work to change.
No.
And it takes work to change.
Yeah.
It's hard.
No.
I've had moments in my life where I thought nobody was there. Nobody. And the only person I had was God.
Absolutely.
What's up, my boy? You looking for treatment? You tired of going in and out of prison? Come on, I got you. Well, here at the ranch, we don't just diagnose your addiction. We teach you the necessary tools you'll need to combat drug use and repeated incarceration. They say I'm flexing when I smile. I'm just thankful for my life now. We'll get your body in top working condition to be the protector and the provider for your loved ones. You don't know the sacrifice. We keep you engaged in fun activities with your peers that make an easy transition into society. We get you engaged in activities you may not usually do to bring the best version of yourself. We are not just therapists, counselors, and teachers. We are a family, and we are a brotherhood. So if you're ready to start your journey today, Have your caseworker reach out, set up a professional visit with me, or have your family reach out to get you started. Oh yeah, before I forget, we take TAM Medicaid for housing too.
And in many ways, I thought I felt in my own way in prison or incarcerated.
For sure.
In my chaos.
Yeah.
And I just wanted so badly, my spirit was like wanting so badly to break out of that. And I feel like now I'm like on the other side and it feels really good. And
Yeah.
so for those who don't think chaos is an addiction,
Yeah.
it is.
Chaos is an addiction, and I can totally agree because I've always lived my life on the edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
you said, it manifests in many different ways, whether it's relationships, whether it's career-wise, or whatever it is. But like you said, it's important for you to slow down and kind of immerse yourself in the moment as opposed to living in the future or the past. You know what I mean?
100%.
Because like you said, like when you're chasing that career, you're thinking of the future, like I want to put myself in a better financial position or whatever that looks like, right? So now you're constantly feel like you're chasing, but when you're able to slow yourself down and you're able to immerse yourself in your minute, in your day, you're able to see the signs that's God given you. And I tell this to the guys all the time who are suffering from addiction, right? And are in a program and they're just like, man, it's a 6-day program, but I'm trying to rush through this. I'm like, look, bro, we've been rushing through our life. And even just the energy of rush is chaotic, right? Even just that energy of rush is chaotic. And I always tell them, you got to allow yourself to immerse yourself and slow down in your day, because when you're able to do that, you're able to function amongst the chaos when there is chaos. Yeah. And I say, and this is a quote that I've heard before and I love it. It's like, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Right. Oh, and and it's so tough to me because I'm a warrior, but I can slow down and be as delicate as I need to be because I know how it feels to be in the chaos. I know how it feels to be to let the chaos consume me and control every decision and every aspect of my life, right? And to be able, like you said, you sit back and you look at that and you're like, that looks a little chaotic. I'm good. You know what I mean? So that's super important. Yeah. So I know you was doing the news for a little bit. What made you step away from that?
Ooh, what a great question.
Yeah, I'm just curious. If we could talk about it, we can.
I love it. This is a great question because I felt like my chaos ran out.
Yeah.
Like my capacity to handle chaos ran out.
Yeah.
My mental health was so bad. And that is a business. I didn't realize. So I was diagnosed with PTSD after, and people don't know that you can get PTSD not from war.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like I've seen dead bodies. I've experienced like people's worst days. I've seen kids hanging out of cars after car accidents that were dead. Yeah. Like, I mean, and that was like 10 years worth of
Is that how long you were with the KSL?
I was in the news business.
Okay, that's right.
Years.
Okay.
Yeah. I ended up going to DC, working for a couple years in
really
politics.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
that's the big stage.
Chasing. I was chasing I was chasing the dream.
Yeah.
I had my mindset out on a dream, and when I get my mindset on something, like that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get to that point, but once I got there, I was like, dang, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's crazy how success works. It's crazy how chasing success works.
Yeah.
Because you don't know until you know that you think you want to be somewhere. You think you want to be. Like I wanted to be covering politics outside the Capitol in DC.
Yeah.
I did. And guess what? I hated it.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it until I was there.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
So I took a hard look at my life, and the business as a whole is not conducive to good mental health. I'll just say that. And I've been I've spoken publicly about the mental health struggles with people in the media because it's such a business of urgency. Like you're always on edge, waiting for the next breaker, rushing to the scene, trying to get the info first. Everything about the business is a trauma response.
And hearing you talk about it, it sounds traumatic to me. Yeah. And like you said, you don't necessarily have to be in a war to suffer from post-traumatic stress. Like all the emotions sound like they're still there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that I wasn't processing the things that I was covering until I left the business.
Wow.
Like I would be able to talk to you about if when I worked in news, I would be able to talk to you about the latest murder that I covered. Like it was a Tuesday over, a cup of coffee, and then I'd go do the next thing. I didn't realize that the things that I was visibly consuming and dealing with on a daily basis were impacting me emotionally. And I was disconnected from those emotions, those human emotions that everybody should have.
Absolutely.
And so it wasn't until I left news that I realized I hadn't processed everything that I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
Like I would start telling stories about the things that I covered after I left news, and I would cry.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Like, they were just locked in me.
Yeah.
And so the business is so quick. It doesn't give the people who are covering the news the opportunity to process what they're actually covering.
Wow.
So that was part of my PTSD diagnosis. CPTSD, since my, all the childhood stuff.
Yeah.
So we got complex.
It's in there. I feel you for sure.
But I don't like to identify with that anymore.
No, absolutely not.
I think the way that we speak about ourselves, the I ams, right? I have, I am, they matter. And so I tried, I'm someone who has struggled with, traumatic experiences, but my journey is getting past those things.
Absolutely.
And finding my peace in all of the trauma and the chaos. And so, I really had a lot of emotional, come to Jesus moments after the news business. And I realized, dang, I've been chasing chaos my whole life.
Absolutely.
Holy cow. I've been chasing chaos my whole life. I have not been processing things correctly my whole life. I have been, and it took those like moments of clarity to really say, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I want to do something different. I want to, and I associated boredom with like, no, there's a quote that I love. It's you don't, boredom feels a lot like peace if you've never experienced, or no, peace feels a lot like boredom if you've never experienced peace.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm bored. Like I couldn't just sit down and like just be. Now I can.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's so
That's
nice.
good. I bet sometimes it takes some time for you to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
You have to rewire your brain a little bit.
Yeah. And so when we talk about it just related it back to addiction and the people that struggle with the disease of addiction, because it is a disease.
Yeah.
They're chasing something.
Absolutely.
They're chasing that high. So I think addiction is chasing something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Chasing attention, chasing chaos, chasing like a high, chasing something. But when you start to be that energy, the things that you want in life just come to you.
Bro, I love that. I love that so much, because when I'm listening to you talking, I'm like, man, I know when I got out of prison, right, I felt like I was behind, right? I've been committing crimes and being in and out of incarceration my whole life. So when I got out with a college degree. So I felt like, dude, I want to hit the ground running, right? So thank you so much. And I felt like, I was doing a lot of chasing too, for like the first year and a half, right? And then and it worked out, but like you said, you feel depleted. And eventually I found myself in a point, I said, you know what? I don't need to be in a position, in an energy of chasing. What I need to do is be in a space of contentment and attract what I want to me, as opposed to running to it. Absolutely. I don't need to run to it. I'll let it come to me, because when it comes to me, it lasts longer. When it comes to me, I know God put that in my reality for me to experience it, because he knows I'm ready and able to sustain it. You know what I mean? Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I do believe that. And I think and like I see you living your purpose.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So when you're in your purpose energy, you don't have to chase anything.
No.
It literally does come to you.
Absolutely.
I'm here.
Yep.
I'm here. I can
absolutely. I know. Right? It's crazy.
Like, the stories that you are sharing, and this is really my mission in corrections for those who are incarcerated. I really do want to say this. I, with my bones, with my soul, believe that people have to see themselves differently in order to be different.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't just see yourself as a number in a white suit or an orange jumpsuit and that's it. Like, you cannot. That's not conducive to effective and successful rehabilitation. So I believe this power of storytelling on its own
Absolutely.
can change people's lives.
And that's I totally agree with that. That's like the whole purpose of why I've experienced the thing. I think I mentioned it too. It's like these guys would never know what it looks like to be successful coming from incarceration if there was nobody showing them what it looks like. Exactly. You know, like even right here, it said, I got a quote that I used to tell it to my daughter, but she put a painting together for me, and it says, "You cannot live your best life reliving your worst moments." And I'm a firm believer of that. Come on now. And you know, I can't, thank you. You can use it whenever you want. I came up with that while sitting in prison. I'm sitting in my cell and I'm just like thinking, man, bro, I'm in prison. I've been selling drugs. I've been gangbanging. I've been carrying guns. I've been just living in that chaos, right? And it dawned on me. It was like, Smacks, you are not going to become the highest version of yourself continuously reminding yourself of your old self.
Ooh,
right?
I needed to hear
right?
that.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm just being honest. Like, I would not have became the man that I am today if I constantly reminded myself of all the past trauma that I've caused, right? Because it's easy to get caught up in that. Because you would know too as well, because in the news, when you watch news, what is it showing you? It's not showing you the positives. You're not talking about the positives. So I'm sure we're rewiring our brains even from seeing it, and you from articulating it through words, through people watching it. And it's like, you cannot live your best life reliving your worst moments.
No.
You cannot become the highest version of yourself entertaining the lowest version of yourself. And that comes along with entertaining low vibrational relationships. That comes along with entertaining low vibrational jobs, careers, low vibrational interactions, friends, whatever that looks like. So when you become the person that we are becoming and have become, it's lonely sometimes.
Is it?
Just being honest.
No one talks about that.
Absolutely. It's lonely. You know what I mean?
I lost countless friends.
I bet.
Those are my chaotic friends, though.
They serve their purpose and see.
And I got my peaceful ones now.
Absolutely.
So it's like, and we talk about, like, it's just, it's funny how, it's crazy how, like, I don't know. It's just wild to think how.
No, let's hear it.
You just swing from like, the pendulum always swings from
Absolutely.
one side to the other before it balances itself out.
Yep.
I feel like I have swung. Now I'm like, if it's chaotic, I'm not want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. Now I'm kind of coming down to where I can kind of handle the chaos.
Yeah.
But I maintain my peace within it.
I love that.
Which is the goal.
The warrior in the garden.
The goal.
Love that.
And so, but it's taken me. Everyone's on their own timeline, on their own journey, on their own path. But. And it's also alchemy. I really believe in, if someone is low vibration.
Oh, you soaking it up. I know.
So what can you do to elevate it?
Absolutely.
In the moment.
Or even like, or even if elevating it is even what you feel like you need to do at that moment. Because sometimes if someone's of a low vibrational energy,
you can walk away.
Yeah, you can fall back. But if it's someone that that you obviously feel there's benefit to entertaining the relationship, and it's not even a using thing. We're all benefits or not to each other. Period. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Now, if you're able to see it and able to fall back or give it your more energy to help boost somebody's energy, that's a big thing. Yeah. And I know you do that too.
Falling back is hard because you got to give, to me, and I really do believe in the power of prayer. I think that's all you can do for people sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that is enough. I've seen the power of what prayer can do. And
Absolutely.
So that's still energy, though. You're still
that.
giving your energy.
You are. Absolutely.
But from a distance.
Yep.
And because we don't have any business stepping in God's way.
No. Absolutely not.
So sometimes falling back is the answer.
Yeah.
But there are times where you can feel it.
I know.
When you see like a conversation going like a little lower in vibrational
Absolutely.
energy, you can transmute that. You can alchemize that. You can, hey, you know what? Let's talk about this.
You can either drive the conversation or drive away from it.
Exactly.
Period. You know what I mean?
So I mean, I am very into energy, and
I can hear that.
But I just keep going back to the incarcerated. Think about the energy that they're in.
Oh, I know.
In the environment that they're in.
I
don't know. You know.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I do.
So I just know from what I see and what I talk to and experience. But I do think, just going back to the whole power of storytelling thing, it is really my mission to tell success stories, to give that hope.
Absolutely.
Through the power of storytelling. And I'm working on reshaping the way that we are communicating to our incarcerated population within Utah in our prison systems.
Let's get into that. That's a perfect segue. I don't mean to interrupt, but let's get into that. So
that's the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
Because I really.
So what position are you right now in the Utah State Prison?
I'm the Director of Internal Communications and Engagement. What does that mean? That's a long
title. Let's hear that.
That's a long title. But I'm basically like a storyteller for the people inside.
Okay. So you're telling the story pretty much for the incarcerated population.
Staff.
And incarcerated population.
Because we have staff that, have to work. It's a tough environment to work in.
Absolutely.
So they have to want to be there. They have to remember why they're there. They have to remember lots of things, and telling those, stories and making people, I really believe people need 4 things. And I think I told you this when I first met you. People need 4 things to thrive. They need to feel seen, heard, valued, and understood.
Yep.
That's literally
Love
it.
That.
That's it. That is the math. That is the math for thriving for people. So if I can tell stories to our incarcerated population that make them feel seen, heard, valued, and understood in a different way, then maybe my hope is that they have that little glimmer of belief in themselves to think they're worth more than where they are.
Yeah.
And so that is what I'm trying to work on in the department right now, shaping how that's going to look,
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking too when I hear you say that. So when you say, bringing those stories to light to the incarcerated population, like to me, I'm thinking, what does that look like, right? Because, when I was in prison from 2012 to 2019, it was a very not a rehabilitative energy. Okay. It was like, just lock them away, give them some programs. Like, for one, formerly incarcerated individuals could not go back into the Utah State Prison when they became successful, right? And when I got out of prison, I was the first one they ever let back in. Yep. And it's something that I mentioned, bro, because I'm so proud of it. Yeah. Because I remember sitting in prison and thinking, man, and like I said, I didn't just get out of prison and, I made it, I'm good now. No, I did the work from the day I stepped into prison in 2012 and came out different.
Because rehabilitation starts from day one.
Absolutely.
Like, truly.
Absolutely.
If you want it.
And I knew I was different. Yeah. So when you say, showing them the stories, what does that look like? And if it's not in the motion right now, what do you are driving it to look like?
First of all, the fact that we allowed, and I've only been in corrections for a short period of time, but I'm so happy to be there because I do think that we can make an impact, right, in different ways. I think that just the industry, and I don't even like to call it that, the service as a whole is, because industry makes it sound like a business, but it's not.
Totally get it.
The service that we provide for folks who end up in our facilities is changing. Yeah. And it's more focused on, we can't just lock people up and throw away the key. Nope. That's not the solution. Nope. We have to figure out, and this is where I get passionate about men's mental health.
Love it. Let's hear it.
Because, and I'll share a personal story with you.
Yeah.
I, not related to addiction, but I was engaged at one point, 3 months before my wedding day. No, 5 months before my wedding day. I saved my fiance's life from the attempt of committing suicide.
Oh, really?
Man,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
I mean, that changed my life because I didn't even know that it was coming. I thought everything's sunshine and roses. We're about to get married. Yeah. We had the dog, the careers, the house, we didn't have a house, apartment.
Yeah.
But we had
you had it.
We had everything that we were working toward. And that experience hit me over the head with men need help. Oh my God.
Say that. Say that, Dan.
They need, and I didn't even realize in my own home how much the man that I was with needed help, struggling with depression to the point where it was very, very premeditated. Yeah. He was going to take his life that day. Man. And if I listened to the voice of God, Something told me to come home early. Like, it was very much divine intervention. I truly believe that.
It always is when it's moments like that.
I was like, I got to get home. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so I walked in my door. There was a note. There was a whole table of envelopes on the table. He had written every person that was close to him in his life a suicide note. And I walked in the door, and I don't remember much after that point, but I just remember that I was able to save him from the act. And so that changed my life. Then I was like, what am I missing here? How can I support the men around me? Because I really believe that men's mental health is something that is starting to shift into a right, like
starting
actually
for sure.
You're creating community
Absolutely.
for men. You are, and
Thank you so
love
much.
that you're doing that.
Absolutely.
But I think when I think of men as a whole, including incarcerated, because most of our incarcerated population are men.
Yeah.
How can we do differently in terms of services for men? Because I believe the root cause is mental health.
Absolutely.
So how can we get them to change their mentals to shift to a new life?
Absolutely.
And believe that they're worthy.
Yeah.
And believe that they're enough. And believe that they have a chance.
Yeah.
How can we do that?
Yeah.
And my own personal lived experience has shaped me in that way as well. And
that's so great. God's work for sure.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about, when we were at the talent show.
Yeah.
At the
USA
correctional facility. I mentioned, a part of my story, and I told every man in that room that I believed in them.
Yep.
Because I do.
Yep.
And I think sometimes only takes one person saying and showing that they believe in you to make a difference. And
Absolutely.
so that, and through the power of story and how I'm doing that, just to get back to your question, we're reshaping the tablet program.
Love that.
I would like to, as someone who's over internal communications now, really lean into how we can use that tool as something that's an effective storytelling tool.
You have to.
So
that's
people
great.
Inside can see the stories, see the successes with their peers.
Absolutely.
And say, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know they could get there. And now there's a lot of things with the climate inside that I don't necessarily know firsthand, but but I think that creating that channel of telling success stories in a way that really is going to land with the people that believe that there's a chance.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we can just use that and getting more Rickies inside, there's quite a few success stories that I'm like kind of really trying to lean into and identify.
Yeah.
How can we tell them? Because if they don't hear about the success, how can they believe that they can be part of it?
Absolutely. And the tablets are such a big thing too, because you guys actually helped me get a video that I have on the tablets right now. And they're working. Because you know why? I go into the prisons every Tuesday, and I teach a recovery dialogue group, and I pretty much sit there and talk with the men and tell them exactly what I did to stay out of prison. And a lot of them are like, "Hey man, you're the one on the tablet. You're the guy on the tablet."
Yeah.
They were like, hey man, you're famous. You're famous. I'm like, bro, I'm famous in prison. Half the people in here already know me anyways from sitting in here. You know what I mean? But they're always like, man, dude, I love the video. I love what you're showing. I'm like, dude, which one did you see? Because I've sent videos and you guys have put them on, and I just don't know which ones. So I was actually able to grab one of the tablets when I was like visiting the teaching the group. One of the guys was working. I said, hey, dude, let me see your tablet. We're like looking at it, dude, and he shows me. He's like, dude, this is the one that I see right here. He's like, man, bro, I appreciate everything you're doing. You have such a great impact. So the tablet program is such an important program because
it's really one of the only ways that they get any sort of, first of all, information, but second of all, like any form of, besides watching the news or whatever video they're allowed to watch, or a movie that's been approved for their unit.
And they're great movies, by the way. They were just telling me the movies you guys got on there, like the Left Behind. They're good. The Left Behind series. They were telling me Left Behind. I think Chosen too. Okay. Chosen was on there too, dude. Yeah. So I'm like getting it. So I'm getting like firsthand information from the inmates too. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so that's a little tidbit for you. It's working.
Good.
It's working.
So
what you're doing
more
is effective.
intentional
Yeah.
with the content. that we're putting on our tablets, which is really one of the main channels of communication that they have to have stories,
Yeah.
see stories. What kind of stories can we tell that will make a real difference, right? And finding those stories and the energy, honestly, I do believe the energy you put behind the effort.
Come on.
I have the energy of, I'm doing this because I want you all
Absolutely.
to succeed.
I want you to win.
I want you to win. I want you to leave our walls and never come back
Absolutely.
and have a Ricky story.
Yeah.
And have a story that they're proud of.
Absolutely.
How can they even think about doing that if they're not exposed to that energy
Yeah.
or those stories? So really being more intentional with the tablet program and figuring out other means of internal communications to where we're sharing these stories so they're getting more exposure, seeing them. I believe when you see someone who's successful, I mean, that's a pathway to know how to succeed.
It shows you what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, so like the tablet program. And also like when I was let back into the prison, right, to do, and they were like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go in here and talk to these men. I want to go in there and talk to them and show them what it looks like to be successful. And just having me come back in there and talk to them. Yeah. And I get it, right? I understand the whole thing of not letting men come back who have been formerly incarcerated. Obviously, the ones that are still on paper. I get that.
Yeah,
right?
They're secure.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. But if you have individuals who have suffered from incarceration and who have built a resume of positivity, of community activism, some type of working with judicially men who are struggling with in the judicial system, right? If you guys have, I wouldn't even say you guys, if there are individuals that are doing that and you know they have the energy that's needed for these men to see, open the door for them, right? And I'm only saying that because you guys have been doing such a great job doing it. Shout out to the Utah Department of Corrections, the Utah Department of Corrections team. Like I said, when I was incarcerated, it was such a different thing. You would never see guys like me in there. Right. And I've said it before. When you're incarcerated, and this is coming from a formerly incarcerated person who has suffered from addiction and been incarcerated, we don't know what it looks like to be successful. We know what it looks like to come in and out of prison. Mm-hmm. We know what a murderer looks like. We know what a rapist looks like.
Yeah.
We know what drug dealers look like, right? But why not put the individual who suffered from those specific situations and have figured it out and are now living in their purpose and the highest version of themselves? Let them see that. And it's not even just Utah State Prison.
It's contagious.
I'm talking the whole nation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You hope that's the new addiction.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has been to me, honestly. It's like, man, how can I be better for my kids? How can I be better for my wife? How can I be better in my reality? How can I take the next trip? How, you know what I mean? I'm trying to create memories, you know what I mean?
It's possible.
Absolutely.
And seeing and helping people who are inside see that it's possible is part of my job.
Yeah.
And I will say, and I'm not just saying this because I work in corrections, but everybody that I work with, especially in the executive team, you know a lot of them.
Yep.
They care so much about people's
absolutely.
Like we really do. As a whole, the energy and the passion, you have to, when you work in public service, it's not about money.
No, absolutely
it's
not.
It's about serving people.
It's about service.
And
it's about community.
Purpose and creating, pathways so people can change their lives. And that is the paycheck.
Absolutely.
That's the paycheck.
Yeah.
When you can say we have 10 Rickies, that have left our facilities and are doing so many great things with their lives, that is the paycheck.
Absolutely.
And so you don't do these things for money.
No.
No, you're not in this business or in public service for money. You're just
absolutely not.
And so and I've never been money really driven.
Yeah.
I've been purpose and people driven.
Absolutely.
That's part of my service driven.
Yeah, it sounds like throughout your whole life that's what it's looked like.
And that's my happiness.
I love that.
That service is my happiness.
I love that.
And it fuels me.
Yeah.
And so I keep chasing that. I want to keep serving in ways that matter, that can change the lives of people and make the world around us a better place. Our community is a better place.
I love that.
And I believe that even the worst, who have struggled the worst and been faced with, I don't even know everyone's stories inside, they can do different.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So struggle to success. It's possible.
Yeah. And like I said, dude, what you guys have been doing is like, and I like feel so grateful to have been a part of it, right? It's like the state of Utah, the Utah Department of Corrections. I feel like we're trailblazing, right? A way for other facilities, right? Because I know a lot of facilities come out to see how you guys are working the inner works, right? I know a lot of them come out to see how you guys are doing it, right? And I just feel grateful to have been a part of it, and the way you guys are doing as far as working in tandem with formerly incarcerated individuals, now successful, right? Like a certified peer support specialist, which that's a big thing going into right now, right? And you guys working in tandem with individuals like myself and the Mannies and all these different people that are doing great in life, right? That is what's going to create the lasting change. And I love that so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you, man, coming and spending your day with me. I'm sure you got such a crazy schedule, especially dealing with the Utah Department of Corrections. But I know it gets crazy in there. And I just love to have been able to be the platform to hear your story and to share what it is you're passionate about as far as men's mental health and being in a position where you're planting the seeds of growth for men that need it.
Through the power of story.
I love that.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing.
Thank you so much. Let's go. We in there.
All right.
Man, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys tapping in with your boy. You already know what time it is. Make sure you like and subscribe. Oh, where could they find you? If let's say that. If you want to drop your socials or whatever.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, make sure if you guys I love that. Okay, just look around.
Yeah.
Okay? You just look around. She'll be there. If the energy applies, it'll attract. So make sure y'all tap in and share it and tell your friends about it. Cage No More. Let's go.